I'd like to call to order this Pratt City regular city meeting for Monday, January the 12th of 2026. I'd like to remind the audience that this meeting is being recorded and or taped. I'd like the city clerk to note that Commissioner Siemens is on the phone, but Commissioner Schmidt is of course absent for tonight. Before we begin each meeting, we start with the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight I'll lead us in prayer. If you all would bow your heads and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you again for bringing us together once again. As we begin the new year, we ask you to guide us on all decisions that we make throughout the year. We also that you ask us to always help our city employees, to guide them and always protect them. And then we always ask again that you continue to help our nation grow and unite still, because we need that right now, especially what's happened at the beginning of this year. We need to remind ourselves we are not Democrats, we are not Republicans, but we are all Americans. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, before we kind of get started here, we do have to approve the agenda. I would like to note that we will be tabling Business 7, recognition of Commissioner Schmidt, to next week, and then we'll be adding one more executive session of attorney-client privilege. Other than that, though, Cody, Gina, are there any other changes that we need to make before we approve the agenda?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay, perfect. All right, with that being said, I would like to make a motion that we approve the agenda for Monday, January the 12th of 2026 with the additions and tabling that I have made. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda for Monday, January the 12th of 2026. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Agenda is approved. Now moving on to Business 5, the minutes from December the 15th of 2025 and the Commission workshop for December 19th of 2025. Is there any changes that we need to make in those minutes, Bree, at all? Okay.
No, I just sent I had failed to put the final one in that one, but.
Other than that, though, that's it. Okay. With that being said, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for December the 15th, 2025 regular meeting and December the 19th of 2025 Commissioner workshop.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the regular meeting for December the 15th and the Commission workshop for December the 19th. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved.
Everybody please make sure that your phones are not next to your microphone.
Man, mine's right there. Hold on, let me see if it's me.
It's just picking up snow. I wonder if it's from the
They can't hear you on the recording if you don't turn your mic on. Even if you're loud.
Mine's not on. None of them are on.
Is the battery dead on you guys?
Is the light on top indicator coming on?
But like mine's not, and it's, I mean,
Oh, it's on.
Technical
They don't all
difficulties.
have lights.
No, mine's
Yeah, yours is.
yeah, it doesn't have batteries.
Mike, I don't know.
wasn't your just working a minute ago?
And now it's not. I'll give you Gary's. Mine's on, right? And yours is.
Hello?
This one works. We can pass it on. Because we don't know.
Have that one because I can't have mine.
Testing.
This one is very loud.
That's the buzz.
Give Mike all the junk ones.
This one has a good battery.
And we'll repair them before the next meeting. Anybody else?
They work for Mike, which is exactly what happens when I have an IT issue and I call him to my
That's what
office.
happens with technology no matter what. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, we'll move on to business 6, recognition of mayor, Miss Regina Goff.
Yay. Well, okay, I will very happily
Yeah.
recognize Mayor Kyle Farmer for his service during 2025. Some of the accomplishments that the commission did under his leadership, which we discussed at our last workshop, is that the commission meetings are now being recorded and uploaded, albeit a few technological issues from time to time. We're also moving forward to replace the antiquated 1964 14 megawatt steam generator with 5 3 megawatt diesel generators. The Point Pavilion project is well underway. We are in the process of obtaining appraisals for land for a future water treatment plant. The tourism ambassador completed her first job, and we had several successful, wonderful events during 2025. The land bank was created with bylaws approved and trustees appointed, and city officials attended multiple KDOT local consult meetings. So all of those things under your leadership, just 1 year.
Yeah.
And I will very happily provide this gavel for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job, Kyle.
Thank you. All right. And thank you, Gina, for those kind words. So, all righty. As I said, we tabled business 7, so now we will do the certification of the November 4th, 2025 election. Miss Brianna Garden.
Okay. I received a certified letter from Sesha Hoffman, the county clerk. It is included in your packet that validates the November 4th, 2025 election with Doug Meyer being reelected and newly elected Commissioner Brad Blankenship. So that letter is in your packets, and with that, I will move forward with providing the oath of office to both of those individuals.
Okay, perfect. And we'll just kind of do it right here in front of the city logo.
Do you want to invite the wives up to stand next to the
Brenda,
president?
would you like to come up and stand with Brad? Jan, would you like to stand with Doug?
Is anybody taking a picture? Do we want a picture?
Yeah, do we want to do one for the Tribune or anything?
I'll give her a second to settle. Okay, gentlemen, please raise your hand and repeat after me. I, insert name, do solemnly swear
I, Doug Meyer, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas
and ordinances of the City of Pratt,
and ordinances of the City of Pratt,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of City Commissioner, so help me God.
of City Commissioner, so help me God.
Okay, congratulations, gentlemen. Congrats, Brad.
Congratulations, Commissioner Blankenship. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Doug and Brad. And Brad, you know, you only retired for a few months, and now you're back up here with us. So, all righty. With that being said, now we will do our beginning of the year stuff, the reorganization of the Pratt City Commission, Mayor and Commission. First one is 10.1, nomination for mayor. Do I have any nominations?
It'd be my privilege to nominate Kyle Farmer as mayor for 2026.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any other nominations? Okay. With that being said, all those in favor of having Kyle Farmer as mayor for 2026, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, the nomination, now for 10.2, nomination for vice mayor. It is with my honor that I would like to nominate Commissioner Jeanette Siemens as vice mayor for the city of Pratt. I think she'd do a wonderful job with her wisdom and everything. So again, I'd like to nominate Jeanette Siemens as vice mayor.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for that we nominate Jeanette Siemens for vice mayor. Are there any other nominations? Okay. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we approve of Jeanette Siemens as vice mayor for the city of Pratt for 2026. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Okay. Moving on now to 10.3, designation of the official city depositories, the People's Bank, Legacy Bank, and the Fusion Bank. Cody, does Monty need to? I can't remember.
I think I ought to.
You ought to. So
Abstain.
do we need to do since this do we have to do separate ones since he's only objecting to or abstaining from the People's Bank or
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
okay.
Yeah, since it's not going to be uniform.
Okay, but then the last two I could just say for Legacy and Fusion Bank, right? I could combine both those together.
That should be fine.
Okay, all right. I'll make a motion that we approve the People's Bank as our designation of our official city depository.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the People's Bank as our designation of our official city depository. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And then one abstention. Okay. All right. And with that, then I will make a motion that we approve the Legacy Bank and the Fusion Bank as our designation of our official city depositories.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded that we approve the Legacy Bank and the Fusion Bank as our designation for our official city depositories. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay. All right. And finally, 10.4. Designation of our official city newspaper, news source, the city website at www.cityofprattkansas.com. Is there anyone like to do it? Or,
I'd make a motion that we designate the website as our official newspaper news source.
Okay. And then second, it's been moved and seconded that we approve our city website as our official newspaper news source, or the official, city newspaper news source. Any other discussions? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Now on to business 11 and 11.1, discussion and or approval of resolution 011226B, the Philly Mardi Gras event, Kara Hansen, for the Vernon Philly Art Museum.
Thank you all for reconsidering this year again. This will be our third annual event. We're not doing anything particularly different this year. We are continuing to use the municipal building, which is fabulous. We're so excited about all the lighting and the new draperies. It looks fabulous. We are exceptionally happy with the service, all of the help that we get in, putting everything together, lining it all up. The only thing that we are doing different this year is just rearranging some of the tables inside. So it will be pretty much a mirror of last year's event.
Well, it seems though everyone had fun at the event last year and everything, so.
This year, the one thing that we are trying to do is space everything out a little bit because last year everything was condensed. So this year we're hoping to have an hour for each of the portions of the event, and we're hoping that gives a nice leisurely pace to everything. And we hope to see everyone there.
Perfect.
Any questions?
No.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 1126B for the Philly Mardi Gras at the municipal building.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve of resolution 011226B for the Philly Mardi Gras event at the municipal building. Any other discussions? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you all for your support.
thank
We really
you.
appreciate it.
All right, moving on to 11.2, discussion and approval of the economic development reapportionments. Chase Golly or is Gina or?
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Chase is not here this evening, and it's a pretty straightforward exercise. So Casey Garten and Linda Lannerman have been faithfully serving on our Economic Development Corporation. They're doing a good job. There's a lot of movement and transition in the Economic Development Corporation. Both of those members have submitted applications to continue serving, and especially with all the movement going on, I think it makes sense
Okay.
for some continuity in that. And so I'd recommend that you reappoint both Casey and Linda on the Economic Development Corporation. Brianna, could you please clear up any confusion about terms of service?
We actually have already resolved that. Chase Scully reviewed, and Chase and
Jackie?
Jackie reviewed minutes and found that the board memberships that we have on file were correct. There was one discrepancy on Dakota Holgreaves' term ending, but that doesn't apply to today.
But what I mean is so when does Casey's term end and when does Linda's term end?
Oh, they were both ending December 31st,
Of 2025.
2020.
So they're both being reappointed for 3-year terms.
3-year term.
Okay. All right. Well, I do agree, Gina, that, with the changes that economic development is going through and all that, it's good to have continuity on there. So, would anyone like to make a motion for this, or?
Okay, I move that we appoint Casey Garten and Linda Lannerman, reappoint them to the Economic Development Board.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we reappoint Casey Garten and Linda Lannerman to the Economic Development Board. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, perfect. All right, moving on to business 11.3, discussion and or approval of resolution 011226A, GAP. Tara.
Yes, this is an annual resolution that you have to adopt every year. In the state of Kansas, municipalities are able to elect to do non-GAAP financial statements, so it's done under the Kansas Municipal Audit and Accounting Guide standards instead, which pretty much presents financial information on a budgetary basis to ensure that we're in compliance with budgetary and cash basis law of the state of Kansas. But in order to do that, the commission does have to pass a resolution annually to do a GAAP waiver, which just means we're going to do our financials as we've always done under the Kansas Municipal Audit and Accounting Guide.
I would make a motion that we approve resolution 112226A, generally accepted accounting principles for this next year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 011226A for the GAP for the 2026 year. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, perfect. All right, moving on now to 11.4, discussion and or approval of proposed subdivision regulation amendment regarding conditional use permits. Cody.
Thank you. And I'm so preoccupied with the matters for executive session today, I didn't get a chance to talk with all staff about this. But Gina, maybe did this go through the process? Was it adopted by the Planning Commission yet, or is this just to inform the City Commission of kind of what they're thinking about doing?
It did go through the formal analysis by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The bottom line synopsis is that currently our zoning regulations provide for a pathway to allow a conditional use permit, but our zoning regulations do not provide for a pathway to rescind a conditional use permit. And so allowing for due process and allowing for notice procedures, Cody has drafted a proposal on how the Planning and Zoning Commission, under certain circumstances, could revoke a conditional use permit. The Planning and Zoning Commission went through the golden factors, which are the statutory and case law required factors to consider whether or not a certain action is beneficial, more beneficial than detrimental, and they did that, and they have recommended to this body to adopt the subdivision regulation amendment, allowing for the revocation or suspension or modification of a conditional use permit.
Okay, because I was just kind of basing off when I sent the Planning Commission that memo and the time frame in which to set the hearing and all of that. So I just wanted to make sure all that was complied with. I think they were supposed to have some findings. I included a template in my memo, but
Robert, do you have anything to add to that, because you were also there at that meeting?
I mean, maybe.
Presented it to them in the past, and we're just gonna give it to you guys for further knowledge, but
Are we on a time frame to get this? Because I might just propose that we table this so I could follow up with the planning commission just to make sure, you know, we complied with that. Because I'm sorry, I should have discussed this with staff before, but we have some pretty big projects that took up this Friday and this weekend. But I'm afraid they maybe misread my memorandum that was issued on December 17th. That's in the packet. Because I was letting them know if they wanted to move forward with what I prepared, they'd need to set it for hearing with a 20-day notice. So unless that hearing was just in the last few days, I don't know if that occurred or not. And then I also had a template in there for them to make their findings that would be submitted in the packet for the commission. So I would ask maybe we table this to next week's meeting just so I can follow up.
So I have no problem with tabling it, but I wonder if we shouldn't table it to the first meeting in February, because the Planning and Zoning Commission meets on the 19th of this month, and then you could actually
Okay.
attend that meeting and then discuss it with them.
Yeah, that
Not
sounds
the
great.
19th of this month, the 15th of this month.
Okay.
Maybe this Thursday? Are we meeting this Thursday?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
if you're
but for
there,
this commission's information, my memo that was in the packet, I mean, that sets forth essentially, you know, the provisions that we're going to add or proposing to add to the CUP process, just to make sure, you know, again, if we run into any issues down the road with the conditional use permit, we have a process set forth in our regulations where, you know, we still have some strings attached, so to speak, so that we can do what's necessary to address any of those issues that may come down the line. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, any objections to table? Okay, okay. And so Gina, you said you want to table this to February the 2nd, our first meeting of February?
That's what I said, but I'm looking at the calendar again, and just, there is no urgency. So if we need to do a 20-day notice, then actually let's go ahead and postpone it to not February 16th, because that's President's Day, but February 17th.
Okay,
And that'll provide adequate time. Actually, it won't.
well,
Let's table it to the 17th with the knowledge that we may move it,
though we might table it again.
right? Or I'll just adjust the agenda.
Yeah, just
Okay.
Take it off.
It looks like we may do it the first week in March, because the next planning and zoning meeting after January is February 19th, and that's when a hearing would take place.
Okay, okay, that's
So-
fine.
So we'll tentatively table it to February 17th with the knowledge that I very well may move it to the first meeting in March.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so we will table 11.4 till further notice, I guess. So, all right, we'll move on now to 11.5, discussion and/or approval of ordinance 2601, the salary ordinance. Miss Regina Goff.
So this is, again, something that is done every year. It's a very loose ordinance that provides for a range of which salaries have to fall between two guidelines. The one change that is on here from what is in the packet is that volunteer firefighters, it says that they would receive $25 a fire call. We actually give them $30 a fire call, and we've done that for a number of years now.
Okay,
That's whether they, respond to a fire that takes 5 minutes, or, a gas leak that takes 5 minutes, or a fire that takes 18 hours. And so I think that $30 is more than a bargain.
okay.
So are we going to change that?
Yes, Bree's already changed.
Already changed
I already
it?
have it in the official document.
Okay, so
Okay.
we don't need to make a motion or anything with the change of $30.
I'd say I request that you move to approve approve ordinance 2601 with the amendment to the volunteer firefighter that they receive $30 a call.
Okay.
Okay.
And is the drill the same? Yes. Okay. So the drill stays the same, but the fire call is amended to $30.
You ready?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2601 and ordinance amending ordinance 2401, classification and compensation of hourly employees and salaries of elected and appointed officers and employees of the city of Pratt, Kansas, with the amendment of volunteer firefighter receiving $30 per fire call.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve ordinance 2601, the salary ordinance, as presented in our packets with the amendment to the volunteer firefighters to $30 a fire call. Any other discussions? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All righty. And the last one, discussion and or approval to combine KDOT CLIP projects for US 54 and US 281. Mr. Jeff Shanline.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. This is for your discussion and approval to combine both the previously approved US 54 project, which is from Jackson Street to town for Millville Clay, with the upcoming US 281 project that will be from Santa Fe South to the city limits past the bridge, also Lake Road. The 54 project was presented previously, and when the bids came back, they came out significantly higher than what was projected, and we just couldn't do that at the time. So the state is allowing us to combine the two so that our funding is doubled. So instead of $400,000, we're looking at $800,000 for the state funding. That would be split over both 2026 and 2027. For the project, it is a 90%, 10% split between the state and the city, not to exceed $800,000 on the city or on the state's funding side. So the city would be responsible for everything in excess of the $800,000, including all of the engineering costs associated with the project. The breakdown is on your Form 1305 for the funding. Projected total cost or projection totals participation is $978,274. Non-participating is $71,000, with a total of $1,049,274. Of that, we would be responsible for approximately $249,700. But we've already paid for the US 54 portion of the engineering agreement, which is about $34,000. So we can deduct that from the $249,700.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're looking for is the approval for all three agreements: the supplemental agreement, which combines the two projects, the engineering agreement with EBH to the engineering for the 281 project or portion of the project.
Mhm.
And the Form 1305 that goes back to the state. It is a project request is what it is. It's the details of the project sent in the state so that they can move forward with the engineering.
So just to clarify, this is for the agreements with KDOT. What this really does is it allows Jeff to begin to go out for bids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what fund does that come out of? And do we have,
Special street
Adequate.
tax.
and we have plenty in there?
We have enough in there. I believe we budgeted for 260 in June, 260,000 in June. I'm not sure if that was approved. If it was not, we're at 210,000.
It's a tight fund.
It's tight.
And the reason that we didn't do this project last year is because the bids came in way far and above what we had budgeted. So Russ was hoping that by combining 26 and 27, there would be one time that they would have to come out, hopefully with a reduction of the cost, which we won't know for sure until the bids come out. But the street construction projects have become exorbitantly expensive and they're difficult to pay for, and so we're doing the best that we can with the budget dollars that we have. And we did increase the budget dollars this year by $60,000. $50,000, because we know that we're not, the quarter cent sales tax is not keeping up with the cost of construction and the need for new streets.
I'd make a motion that we approve the 3 agreements for the US 54 and US 281 projects, the supplemental agreement, the engineering agreement, and the Form 1305.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the 3 contracts, for the combined KDOT CLIP projects for US 54 and US 281 that is presented in our packets. Any other discussions? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay. It is approved. All righty. Moving on now to open public comment. City matters only. 3-minute time limit. The public is allowed to speak on issues or items not scheduled for discussion on the agenda. Comments should be limited to issues and items germane to the business of the governing body. The commission will not discuss or debate these items, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments. Anyone from the public like to comment at this time? Okay. With that being said, we will now move on to reports and City Manager, Miss Regina Goff.
So, I don't have anything to report on other than what we've already discussed tonight.
Perfect. Okay.
I did finish a city manager update, which was uploaded onto our website on December 31, and which gives a very detailed explanation of everything going on in each of the individual departments. And people that are watching on YouTube can go to the City of Pratt website under the government tab, and then there's a manager corner pull down.
Perfect.
So click on manager corner and you can see the most recent city manager update.
Okay.
And that was a very good report.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do want to say that was a very detailed report.
I
So.
appreciate that.
All right. Any other questions for Gina? All right. Perfect. Public Works, Mr. Shanline.
Sure. I really don't have much. I've been in discussion with Don Delinger with the city pool. There's some minor repairs that are necessary, structural, that they are responsible
Okay.
for. They'll be handled before the pool opens. It won't amount to much of a big deal. There's some paint chipping and a crack in the concrete, but they're handling it as soon as they can get it scheduled.
Is that covered in our warranty still, or is
The
it?
concrete repair is covered. It's a structural problem.
Okay.
The paint chipping is probably going to be a city responsibility because it's outside the warranty on the paint. But it's minimal. It's just a few spots in the lazy river.
Okay.
And they're going to handle that while they're here.
Okay.
So we won't have to go out for a bid on that. So they said they take care of it while they're repairing everyone. Street department's currently looking for equipment bids for chip seal so that we can maintain the streets that we have right now that are still quality. That way we can don't have to repair those as soon. Those are actually coming in with really reasonable prices from what I understand. So we'll be presenting those in the near future as soon as we get hard numbers. So we're going to start our chip seal program back up in the residential areas. Danny, Parks Department, removed some large oak trees on the 6th Street Park that were dead. So you'll notice at the gazebo there's a much larger canopy opening. Doing a lot of stump grinding, cemetery, and in the parks. And all other departments are just winter maintenance as necessary.
Yeah, I bet they're kind of enjoying this weather right now. Kind of getting a lot more.
They're getting a lot of projects that they didn't expect to get
Yeah.
done. Yeah, Kelvin's guys went out and they painted the well houses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't expected to be done in the winter.
I did see the sidewalk around the Boy Scout cabin. That looks really nice.
Yes, that's almost complete. The contractor was not aware of one ADA ramp that was required to go in there.
Okay.
Along with the addition of the sidewalk that's on the east side at the tennis court.
Okay.
Those two sidewalks will be connected with ADA ramps, and we're looking at putting crosswalks in between the scout cabin and tennis court and the tennis court and the swimming pool so that the pedestrians can get through there a little more safety. So.
Perfect.
And the street department's on board with that. They just gotta wait till the sidewalks are cured out so that they're not worth messing with any of that.
Okay. Perfect. Any other questions for Jeff? All right. Perfect. Thank you, sir. All right. Building inspector, Mr. Walker.
Thank you.
I conducted a couple electrical inspections, solar power inspection, 2 sewer inspections. I've been inspecting the sidewalks that the city's been putting in. Visited with Sergeant Gimple about a guardrail over here on 7th. The parking lot there, the 382. I guess some students have ran into it, so I think we came up with a solution to possibly get some markers to mark it up higher so they can see it when they're sitting in their cars. Set out 6 nuisance properties. Visited with the owner of the old Woody's, which is going to be called Brick Street now. They brought their drawings in. Also went to the flower shop, visited with Terry Williamson, and he wanted me to share with you guys that probably in the next 30 days he's going to start serving coffee, and then probably 60 days out, maybe sandwiches, cookies, salads, just cold stuff. So that's all I have.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for Robert? All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Now, Alita, you're not Jamie today, are you?
No,
No. Okay.
not Jamie.
Gina, do we have anything on Jamie's report or anything?
No, we had both John Giggy here and Evan Hans here for our department head meeting this morning. Jamie's out this week. He's recovering from surgery. The departments are going well.
Okay.
You know, we're moving forward with the substation project. There's some maintenance going on the different generators. Evan and I, so a KMEA representative will be driving through tomorrow evening. Evan and I will meet with him for a little bit to talk about KMEA related issues. And Evan and I will be attending the KMU, the Kansas Municipal Utilities Corporation, which I sit on the board of. They've asked that as many municipal utilities as possible attend the KMU Day at the Capitol to meet with legislators next Wednesday. And Evan and I will both go to Topeka together. We'll ride together and we'll meet with legislators next Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. All righty. All right, and now, Alita, anything for the finance department wise?
Just doing my year-end stuff, and I'm
Okay.
helping gather stuff for Tara. That's really about it.
Okay, any questions for Alita? All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, rec department, Mr. Crouch.
Thank you, Mayor. We started our basketball league this past Saturday. It went well. We have almost 280 kids total in the basketball league, so it's a good turnout. We're doing some municipal building updates. We're painting, taking the chairs out of the balcony, first couple of rows, getting some new sound panels put up upstairs. So they've been doing that. We got some of the used turf from Zerger this past week that Pratt High was getting rid of. We use that for batting cages, dugouts, stuff like that we can put turf down on. We're starting back up our teams meetings every other Wednesday now for the Point, our big design with all the architects, engineers, everyone. Did some community center upgrades this past week, just minor stuff. Replaced some light bulbs, some ceiling tiles, changed over some lights to LEDs, replaced some kitchen tile in the senior center side in their kitchen, a new doorknob, stuff like that. So everything should be good to go at the community center. That's all I got.
How did the first time ever we're doing that kind of winter break thing for kids and all that?
Yes, we had the holiday camp. We did so it was 3 weeks, Monday, Tuesday for 3 weeks, so 6 total days. It was great. We averaged 29 kids a day. It was 9 to 3:30. We fed them lunch. They did crafts, games, watched movies. They baked cakes. They seemed to have fun. Every parent that I talked to loved it. Wanted it to be every day of Christmas break. But I said, I don't know about that. But no, it was great. So we like to do new things, try new things, and it seemed that it was a good turnout.
Good. And then, Gina, are we close with starting the windows yet, or is that?
Yep, so the windows are expected to be in, like the inventory is supposed to be received the first week in February. They anticipate that the installation will be started about the 3rd week in February. Justin can give some more details, but they are currently retrofitting the windows to allow for easier installation once they do arrive.
That's correct. Yeah, if you may have seen some crews out the
Yeah.
last week or so on the lift out, they're cleaning up and then they're replacing the sheet metal around the outside to basically when the windows come in, they want it to be a streamlined process to where they can get them in a lot quicker. And then the doors
Yeah, I was about to-
should be getting replaced pretty soon
Okay.
with Kessler and then Pratt Glass doing all the glass ones.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I'll say the new curtains looked great, when I was there for the New Year's Eve party. So I think the municipal's really looking nice again. So great job to both Justin and your department and everything for that. So
So just to follow up on that, because Tiffany's not here, the New Year's Eve dueling pianos program was sold out. We
Yeah.
had at least 270 participants. Everybody, I've only heard good things. I have not heard one negative comment about the evening. Everybody had a great time. It was good to see the whole community come together and just enjoy New Year's Eve together. Lots and lots of compliments on the curtains and the upgrades to the municipal building. And in fact, the dueling pianos split their tips 50-50 with us. 50% went to them and 50% is to go towards the future renovation of the municipal building. So
Wow.
of course,
that was really nice of them.
yeah, they like to do that for some sort of a charity project, and we told them we are looking to renovate this building piece by piece, and of course, just like the donation we received for the $350,000 for the window replacement, we're always open to receiving gifts from the public to do the next thing that the municipal building needs to bring it back to its former glory.
Okay. Awesome. Well, great job. So, any other questions for Justin? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Police Department, Chief Oler.
Thank you, sir. Officer Stats is beginning his 8th week at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. He's doing really well. He sends me weekly, sometimes bi-weekly reports on scores and testing and attendance and stuff. He's loving it.
When's he hopefully be done by?
He has 14 weeks, so
Okay, so another month or so?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 14-week, and he's in 8th, so.
And again, it's only long because of the breaks and...
Yeah, he got 2 additional weeks kicked onto there because it's run by the University of Kansas, so they shut down for a week for Christmas and a week for Thanksgiving, so it delayed his graduation a little bit, but he's doing well up there. Unit 2201 is still at Doug Ray for the deer strike. We should have it back this week, we hope. We did receive a recall notice on 3 of our Ford Explorer patrol units for repair. We've got Sergeant Wright is our fleet manager. He's getting those scheduled in to get examined from Ford to see if there's it's a potential engine failure issue with them, but there's no cost to the repair, but we need to get them in for an inspection, so we're working on getting those scheduled now. I did have a conversation with Under Sheriff Max Barrett. We've had some officers express interest in participating in the Pratt County SRT team. The Pratt Police Department has never had members on that team, so I gave Cody the standing operating procedures provided by Under Sheriff Barrett, what they, how they operate and stuff like that. So we're exploring any kind of legal issues like that. There's obviously some staffing issues, personnel for training and call out that we'll have to explore, but we're in the infancy, stages of looking into that to get a couple team members on there, and as well as doing some training with the Sheriff's Department as far as building entries, clearings, and stuff like that. So we're beginning that. We do already have an MOU with the Sheriff's Department, so there's nothing that needs to be revised on that, but I wanted Cody to go over those SOPs so we could kind of see if there's any legal issues with that. We did receive 3 new bulletproof vests. 3 of our guys had expired vests. We kind of changed the way that we've been doing that. Before we were ordering them online. We had some fitting issues. They're very particular. They're custom made to the officers, so there were some. I, for one, had one of the 2 years ago. I had a vest. It was issued to me that was grossly too large, and just to avoid that, we are going to Wichita and getting these vests direct. So they will actually measure us, and then they're responsible for any mismeasurements. So far the guys have been happy with them. I did make application to continue in the Department of Justice VEST program. They will reimburse the city of Pratt for 50% of the cost of a bulletproof vest, which is about $1,500 per vest. We are wearing level 3As, which is the highest level of soft armor that we can wear. So I have to submit those applications for the program. We have a balance currently with the DOJ of like $1,300. So I can apply 2 of these vests to that program, and then I've made applications for 2026 for any potential vests that we may. If we use it, we do, and if we don't, it's not. We're not going to go out and buy vests that aren't expired. We're just use them as they're 5 years. Our vests carry a 5-year warranty. After that, we have to be replaced. So, but I haven't got the approval from DOJ on it yet, but the application's in. Sergeant Gimple, Danny Gimple, and Officer Warman will be starting a new program for the police department, a DARE program, where they're teaching USD 382 students, I think 4th grades and 5th grades. I think it's like an 8 or 10 week program. They meet once or twice a week, and those 2 officers will be handling. They're both DARE certified officers. The only other issue, and I brought this up too in the department head meeting, trying to explore some KDOT issues, trying to like revisit some of the, like our school crossing on the west side is not really used anymore, and trying to get that ball rolling to try to maybe revamp that to maybe a pedestrian crossing signal, like a push signal, or we can use it 24/7. Students don't typically use that crossing anymore. There's USD 382 has a cross or a pickup north of the tracks, so you rarely see a child cross there. So I would like to eliminate that, replace it with a pedestrian crossing, as well as maybe a pedestrian crossing in the area of First and Iuka, First and Hamilton, because there are a lot of students that cross there and they have no protection, no reduced speed limits. So I'm trying to get somebody with KDOT to reach out to me and help with that, as well as K61 and US 54. I think that is overdue to have directional arrows for all directions of traffic. The lanes are established there. We have no turn arrows there.
Right.
So I don't know what that process looks like, but trying to get the traffic engineer with KDOT involved in that. So that's what I have.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief? All right. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
All right. Fire Department. Chief Hoffman.
Just kind of going back from this beginning of this year, we only had 6 calls this year so far. Nothing major. A few vehicle accidents, smoke scares, and detector activations out at PCC. Still working on Engine 1, our new Engine 1 that came in. We're just getting it set up with all of our new equipment for our SCBA packs, getting the mounts mounted and everything in there, and getting everything just set up how we want it. Once we get all that ready to move over, we'll make a transition and take everything from Engine 2 to the new Engine 1, and then the old Engine 1 will make that Engine 2. Okay. So once that's all done, we're probably looking at schedule right now. If we did that, we had a couple of small things to finish up on. We did test this foam injection on that and did have a small leak. They're supposed to be out here tomorrow to fix that. So they've got a really good warranty on that, but they're going to come out here and get that taken care of. Once that's done, then we'll be ready to put it in service.
Okay. Perfect.
But probably looking at the 24th of January, which would be a Saturday, which we'll probably try to do that and do a push-in for the new truck.
Okay.
Other than that, everything going pretty good.
Perfect. Awesome. Any other questions for Chief? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. City Attorney, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Most of what I have to report tonight will be in the attorney-client privileged executive sessions, but I did want to give you all a heads up. Speaking of property nuisances, some of those cases that have been, or violations that have been issued, I believe at the next meeting we're going to have a hearing on one of those. Generally, the way those work is the violation is issued to the property owner, and they have a certain amount of time to either alleviate the issue. This is one, I believe Mr. Hollister. We also have the dangerous structures too. But since we haven't had anyone yet, at least since I've been city attorney, that has requested this process. I'm going to send a memo out this week just to kind of give you all a refresher update on that, what that procedure looks like. Because, like I was saying, either they alleviate the issue with a certain amount of time or request a hearing before the governing body within that same amount of time. If they do neither, then I can file a complaint in municipal court. But if they do either, then that basically stops the, if they alleviate it, it stops the issue. I mean, stops the procedure because there's no further issue. But if they request a hearing, it pauses it and brings it to the governing body before I can do anything. So, like I said, I'll send out a memo just to tell you what our code states and everything in relation to that, so you all have a heads up before the meeting next week. But other than that, yeah, I just have the information to provide to you in the executive sessions tonight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions for Cody? Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. All right, Tara, do you have any other reports to give for us in the financial side?
Not really. You should have preliminary December year-end numbers for the next meeting. December just takes a little bit longer to get closed out. And then that will be any year-end accrual work that will be done over the next couple months. So I'll keep you updated on what final numbers are once we work through it. But other than that, that's just kind of what we're working on, is trying to get things wrapped up for the year.
Okay. Any questions for Tara? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, City Clerk, Ms. Garden.
I have just been working on kind of end of year, but also a lot of the transitional stuff into 2026, like rate structures and things like that. Gina, Cody, and I, and Alita had spent a lot of time going back over our personnel policy manual. So we will have that for you to review shortly. And we'll try to give a summary of what the changes are. A lot of it's verbiage, but there were a few things that were changing. So that's what I've been working on lately.
Perfect. All right. Any questions for Bree? All righty. Thank you, ma'am. All right. With that being said, we'll go to Mayor Report. Only thing I have to say is congratulations, Doug Meyer and Brad. Again, congratulations. I look forward to having you up. I know we always enjoyed having you down there. It's going to be fun having you up here now. So, and again, Doug, congratulations on your reelection. So, all right. With that being said, we'll go to commission reports. Commissioner Hostetler.
Nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Meyer.
I did attend one hour webinar from the league on upcoming legislative issues that would affect municipalities. And it was good, and if you want to watch that, it's recorded, and I think you just go to the league website. I'd recommend you fast forward through like the first third, and then you can get to the meat and potatoes, but it was beneficial.
Okay, perfect. Commissioner Siemens, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Blankenship.
The only thing I have is it's nice to be back from that seat to this one, and I look forward to fulfill my appointment from the public.
Okay, perfect. All right, with that being said, we have about 3 executive sessions. The first one is I move that the City Commission recess into executive session with the City Manager and the Attorney. Cody, did we want Robert on the neighborhood revitalization one, or? Okay, I just. Okay, I just wanted to ask before. Yeah. All right, so I move that the City Commission recess into executive session with the City Manager and the City Attorney for consultation regarding a matter related to the Neighborhood Revitalization Program, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to the attorney-client privilege exemption of KSA 75-94319B2. The open meeting will resume in the City Council chambers in 20 minutes, so we will return around 7:15, I would say.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for attorney-client privilege over the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we return out of executive session with nothing to report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we come out of executive session with nothing to report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All righty. I don't think we need to discuss any more on the neighborhood revitalization. So with that being said, I move that we I move the city commission recess into executive session with the city manager, the city attorney for consultation regarding a matter related to pending testamentary gift to the city, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to attorney-client privilege exemption in KSA 75-94319B2. The open meeting will resume to City Council chambers in 10 minutes, and so we will return back at 6:27.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for attorney-client privilege. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. I'd like to make a motion that we return out of executive session with nothing to report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we come out of executive session with nothing to report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'd like to move that we go back into executive session for a consultation regarding a matter related to pending testamentary gift to the city, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship. And we'll return back in, you said 5 minutes, Cody? So we'll return back at 6:35. All right. It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for 5 more minutes, and the return time will be 6:35. Any other discussions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'd like to make a motion that we return out of executive session with nothing to report. It's been moved and seconded that we come out of executive session with nothing to report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. The final one, I'd like to move the city commission recess into executive session with the city manager, city attorney, for a consultation regarding a matter related to airport property, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship pursuant to attorney-client privilege exemption in KSA 75-94319B2. The open meeting will resume to city council chambers in 10 minutes, so that means at 6:46 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for attorney-client privilege, and we'll return back at 6:46. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I'd like to make a motion that we return out of executive session with nothing to report.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we return out of executive session with nothing to report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with that being said, we said we were not going to make a motion on this part, right? Okay. It has been discussed that the commission, as a consensus, provides direction to the city attorney to reach out to the airport authorities attorney regarding real estate issues. Okay? Is everyone in agreement with that?
Aye. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, are there any other discussions? Okay? With that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn for this evening. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn for this evening. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.